Today we will review 6th grade math lesson 7.2. This lesson will cover using strategies to find a percent of a quantity. Here's your I can statement. I can write a percent as a fraction or a decimal and use multiplication to find the percent of a number and explain my solution method to others. I encourage you to pause this video and complete these problems on your own. If you'd like to reference some similar ones, they will be on homework page 219 for this lesson. To find the percent of a quantity, use either, so we have two strategies here, proportional reasoning or equivalent decimals. Both methods will result in the same answer. So they have 60% of 25 here. So if you look at 6% of 25, the word of here, of means multiplication in math. So remember when we say 6%, again from our last lesson, percent means out of 100. So if we say 6% of 25, that means out of 100. 600ths. Now again, remember our place value. So how do we write 600ths as a decimal? Remember the last digit is in that hundredths category. So I would write 600ths as a decimal here because it's out of 100. So if you notice here on the proportional reasoning, they're saying 6 over 100, that's your percent, equals something over 25. So we know that they're saying 100 divided by 4 is 25. And what I do to the denominator, I must do to the numerator. So 6 divided by 4 would be 1 5/10. For strategy 2 is equivalent decimals. So for this one, I'm multiplying. So we know that it says 6%, and I have to convert that to a decimal by saying 6 over 100 is 600ths. So I write that as a decimal. And then I multiply by the number or the quantity that is given. So 600ths times 25 is 1 5/10. So those are the two strategies. Let's try the first one. Suzanne orders a set of bread. She receives 96 beads and 75% of them are green. See the of here? So we know we're multiplying. There's your percent. And there's your 96 beads. So it says solve using the decimal equivalent. So here is 75%. 75% means 75 over 100. And then if we know at our place value chart, 75 hundredths, we can write 75 hundredths. So then we just multiply 96 times 75 hundredths equals 72. So Suzanne received 72 green beads. At the pep rally, there are 270 students in attendance. So that's your total or your whole amount. There are 54 seniors at the pep rally. We know that's part, because we know that percent is a part-whole relationship, a part-whole ratio. What percentage of the students at the pep rally are seniors? So we can solve using proportional reasoning because this is a part-whole ratio. So the first thing I do is part-whole. That is here, 54 over 270. And then it's saying what percentage. So I don't know my percentage. I'm trying to find the percentage. So that's why that's blank. So we set that up, and then we're saying 100 equals 270. So 100 times 2.7 equals 270. So therefore, something times 2.7 tenths equals 54. And when we're figuring this out here, I know the opposite of multiplication is division. So because the percent is unknown in that square, that's why they're taking 54 divided by 2 and 7/10 equals 20. So 20% of the students at the pep rally are seniors. Question 1. This afternoon, Autumn takes a history test. There are 80 multiple choice questions. That is my total or my whole amount. And Autumn answers 85% correctly. So we know this problem is going to be 85% of 80. Because if she got those correct, how many problems does she get right? So 85% is 85 over 100. That's 85 hundredths, or I can write it as a decimal, 85 hundredths. And then I go ahead and multiply 85 hundredths times that total amount of 80. So I just multiply here. Remember to count your decimals. So how many do we have? 1, 2, so we have to put the decimal here. So it equals 68. Questions she got correct. Question 2. Kevin has a rectangle-shaped garden that is 15 feet by 12 feet long. So I know that's 12 by 15 feet. He plants 36 square feet of tomatoes. What's the percent of the garden are tomatoes? Now I need the total amount, and they did not give me the total amount here to do my proportional reasoning. So I need to find out that area is length times width. So the area is 12 times 15. So I know my area will be 180 feet squared. So we're going to need that for this problem. Because the way I set it up is what percent? Okay, so I don't know the percent. So it's something over 100 equals part whole. So if he plants 36 square feet of tomatoes, I want this as my part. So 36, and then my total is 180. So 100 times what is 180? I'm multiplying that by 1.8. So I must multiply this by 1.8. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I would do 36 divided by 1.8. So over here, let's do 36 divided by 1.8. I need to move over my decimal. So that's really 18 into 360, which goes in twice, and then 0, so 20. So what percent of the garden is tomatoes? We know that 20% is tomatoes. All right, Logan wants to save 35% of his weekly paycheck, and his paycheck is $125 a week. So we know we're calculating 35% of 125. 35% is 35 over 100. 35 hundredths would equal 35 hundredths. That's your decimal. So what I do is I go ahead and I multiply 35 hundredths times 125, and I get $43.75 savings each week. Let's find the percent of each number. So if we have 17%, remember I am saying that is 17 over 100. Percent means out of 100. Of means multiply, okay? But let's make that a decimal. 17 hundredths would be 17 hundredths, and then of is multiply. So 17 hundredths times 350, and I get 59 5/10. Question 5, 52%. Percent means out of 100. So that's 52 hundredths. So then say it out loud, 52 hundredths. So you could write it as a decimal. Of means multiply. 52 hundredths times 725, and I get 377. This is our lesson for Module 7, Lesson 2, Grade 6.